we have a typical, I like to call it contemporary Norwegian church, right? I think you know that in Norway, the church, right, it's owned by the state. Indeed, we have the Church of Norway, which is more or less, you know, it's a similar things with, you know, the Church of England, right? So, because Norway, you know, since the year 1537, Norway became a Protestant Lutheran country, right? And then from there, the Protestants, of course, they started, you know, to build a lot of churches. But those kind of churches that you saw today, the white ones, you know, they were built more or less starting from the year 1820, 1830, so I think in the middle of the 19th centuries. Because back then the Norwegian parliament, you know, Norway faced an increase of populations, right? So they started to grow, the population started to grow. So back then the churches were quite old and quite small. So the Norwegian government issued like a law in the year 1830, more or less, and they ordered, you know, all, you know, to be, and they built it, and they built it. Churches that they have to have enough seats for the local population, at least 1/3 of the. I mean, today a church, right, is mandatory to have at least 1/3 of the seats for the local population. Why? Because the churches now they are bigger than maybe 300 years ago. Why? Because back then in the year 1830, the Norwegian Parliament issued this law. The Norwegian population was growing, and then they needed more spaces, small and bigger churches. So that is the reason, you know, today this area here is spread by wide churches and bigger churches. Because, you know, back then, you know, they had to face this important, increase in population. So they built more seats and bigger church. Gentlemen, here at your left we have